Good evening everyone and welcome to, for the final time, League of Europe Division 1. And tonight we take in the trials and tribulations of the Autodromo Juan Carlos Pache, better known of course as Interlagos. And with the championship already decided, it's time to let the drivers loose one final time for in Season 4. As always, my name is James Head and I'll be taking you to the stream as your lead commentator here tonight. And joining me in the commentary box, it's not a Saturday night without him. It is my good friend and co-commentator, Mr. Daniel Field. Dan, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great at the moment, but a little bit of me is quite sad that this is the last race of Season 4 in Division 1. The title's already been wrapped up, so everyone is just going to go out and have a good time. But a little piece of me is sad that next weekend I'm not going to be able to do this with you. So, yeah, I'm good, but I'm a little bit sad as well.
Well, of course, we do have the 24 Hours of F1 event next week as well, so we might be commentating on that together. Who knows about that? And it's going to be a really fantastic night of racing, I think, and it's going to be a fascinating race, of course, out on track. So with that being said, let's have a look at the championship standings, because as Dan said, both championships, both drivers and constructors, have been wrapped up coming into tonight. Montana, of course, taking the win in dramatic circumstances on lap 1 in Abu Dhabi last week, winning the championship on 340 points currently. Alpha Trixon second on 270 points, with Suku third on 109, Daniel fourth on 100, and Connor in fifth on 98. Running down the rest of the field, Campbell in sixth on 93, with Verstappen seventh on 85, Toxic in eighth on 78, Bolin in 9th on 72, who's got a qualifying ban, I'll come into that in just a second, and Neo in 10th on 70. We've got Rocco in 11th on 64, Larkin in 12th on 63, Killer Blue and Cohen tied for 13th on 61, M Short in 15th on 54, and then we've got Josesas on 46, Droppier on 21, Chapelelli on 20, Kazizel on 15, Kooky Games on 14, Daka on 12, Name Changer on 8, Matthias not racing tonight, I'll come into that in just a second as well, he's on 1 point, and Falk, the Dane, picking up his first point, of course, on his debut last week in Abu Dhabi. He's also got 1 point to his name down there for a tie for 23rd. Doom, the only one not to score a point so far this season. And looking at that driver standings, of course, Montana has already wrapped up the championship. What can Alpha Trix do to try and get revenge here tonight?
Well, simply put, Alpha Trix can just do all that he can and win the race. Of course, the championship is over, but you know, he can still take it. I think he can still have a good race. He's still got that confidence about him, even though he did crash on the first lap last week. But I definitely think that Alpha Trix is going to come out in full force and try and take revenge on Montana.
And expect, I think, a really close qualifying session around here as well at the Autodromo de Interlagos, Autodromo Juan Carlos Pache, or just plain old Interlagos, whatever you like to know this track as. We have got all angles covered, of course, here on League of Europe for Division 1. Division 3 and Division 4 are also live. Carmentalus has taken the night off in Division 3, so I think Packer is taking it by himself here tonight. Division 4, of course, the normal commentary team of Volt Maverick and Ghost Recon taking you through the action on that one. Both streams, I think, will either be live now, as soon as I'm speaking, or they'll be live very shortly indeed. Let's have a look then at Constructors as well, because the Constructors has already been wrapped up. Alfa Romeo in top on 384, Williams in second on 331. It's a 53-point gap. That purely is not enough, even with the fastest lap pole position points. Even if that was available, it would not be enough to take the championships. Alfa Romeo have wrapped up the Constructors. Ferrari in third on 209 points, with AlphaTauri in fourth on 163, Racing Points in fifth on 122, Mercedes in sixth on 117, with Haas in 7th on 106. Then we've got McLaren in 8th on 83, Renault on 82, and Red Bull in 10th on 50 points. Alfa Romeo have wrapped up the Constructors standings, but Doom might be the first driver in League of Europe history actually to pick up a championship win without scoring any points, unless he scores any tonight.
Well, I'd really hope that Doom is able to at least get into the top 12 tonight, but a lot of those points were not just contributed by Montana. You can't forget the contributions of Spine early in the season. He's not with us anymore, he's not racing. Doom did take his place, but yeah, so we can't really say it's all Montana, but Spine did do really well to pick up some crucial points. One team I'm really impressed with is the Ferrari pairing of Suku and Di Daniel. Unlike the two in front of them, where it's been Alpha Trix and and Montana up in front, really the charging rhinos. It has been both the team contributions, both of them pretty much equal on points at the moment, and they're in the fight for third in the championship in the drivers. So yeah, I'm really impressed with both of that Ferrari pairing.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating night, I think, of action. Suku and D. Daniel, as you say, third and fourth in the standings. 109 points for Suku, 100 points for D. Daniel. Oh, goodness me. We better get going here out on track tonight. We've got Connor alongside us as well. That's going to be competing, because this will take it over Matthias' seat as well. Bullen, remember, with that qualifying ban. But it is now time to go into qualifying. This track, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, not the Juan Carlos Pache. I've been saying this wrong for the first 5 minutes of the stream. First Grand Prix was held here in 1973. Circuit length of 4.3 kilometres in length. 71 laps normally in total. I think we've got 36 here tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Race distance of 305.8 kilometres. Half that, and you'll get the race distance of about 155 kilometres out on track. Lap record around here, 110.5, held by Valtteri Bottas in 2018. And I think we're going to see lap times maybe into the 106s, 107s?
I definitely think that the 106s are 100% achievable. Maybe we could see guys like Montana and Alpha Trix and maybe Connor as well to just dip into the 105s, but I wouldn't expect too much considering the top guys in PSGL. They were doing, I believe, 105.9 was the pole time, so it'd take a lot for these guys to actually get onto that mark, but definitely the 106s are achievable.
I've just been informed, by the way, Matthias is racing. And he is not... Oh, he is in the lobby. I can see him there. He's down on the list. Goodness me, I apologise, Matthias. I thought you weren't racing, because Zizzle was due to take the seat, but Matthias has eventually found some time out on track. And I think Montana is the first out on track. He's beat us already out. He's on a set of soft compounded tyres. He now comes out the pit lane. As Doom says, don't call the rain. Don't call the rain. Rain might be a feature, actually, within this race. It is quite high possibility. Are we going to get scenes like 2012, Vettel spinning around turn 4?
Oh god, I hope we don't see too many spins, but the rain is definitely possible around this circuit, and it can throw the spanner into the works for some drivers, but we'll see by the pole times just if they're really taking a wet setup or a dry setup, just judging on their times. Hopefully, I'd like to see a dry race, because that as you get to see all the guys in their full form, you know, what they actually practice in. But you know what, rain could definitely throw some spice into the mix. That'd be nice to see.
It'd be really nice to see, and we'll have no wet qualifying for a few races at least here in League of Europe Division 1. But we're about to go on a lap with Montana as he now comes through the Subida dos boxes and now runs up the hill towards turn 1, which of course is just Curva 1 as it's known as on the official track map. Montana through turn 1, then through the Senna S's at turns 2, and then through 3, looking very nice there on the power, and now runs down the Retro Oposto down towards the Desida del Lago corner of turn 4. And he runs down into the first sector split, 16.4, so already quicker than what I was expecting in the first sector. He's through Desida del Lago on the run up towards Ferragiro. Remember in 2009, Alonso and Trulli coming into contact up the hill with a dramatic circumstance. Jonathan Lagarde, of course, commentating on that race. No Jonathan Lagarde here, I'm afraid. Through Laranja, through SA, and now through Pinheiro for Montana, as he now comes towards the top of the hill at Pico de Pato. And Pico de Pato, of course, through turn 10. Then through turn 11. If you're wondering why I'm memorising these, I've got a track map to the right-hand side with all the corners on. Maguilo through turn 11, and then through Junsao, which is the final technical corner out on track. A 50 flat through the middle sector for Montana as he now races up the hill towards the final corner. He's got Doom just in front of him to start off on a lap as well. But Montana already across the line. We're going to be in the 105s already. Oh, 106.2. Nice lap there by Montana. Really good so far, and that might be the time to be early on.
Absolutely, Connor was about 4 tenths off through the first sector, and here he comes across the line. There it is, still 4 tenths off. Of course, a very short second sector, final sector. There's Toxic splitting the two, and there's Alphatrix going third. Killer Blue in 6th. There's Verstappen coming out of nowhere. He's getting close ahead of his two have been closely matched, but they're all finishing up their times, and I believe Neo is just the next one to cross the line as coming now 5. I've kind of messed up all my words, so I'm sorry, but it is 8th position for Neo. I'll try and get better. I'm sorry.
It's absolutely fine. Don't worry at all. Don't sweat here out on track. Early on, the Montana has set the pace, 106.2. Interesting to note, as Bolland's retired, of course, off the session. He's probably retired just coming back into the pit lane. He's ran his stock setup. He's got that locked in, and that's why we saw him out on track. Alpha Trick's interesting. The only one, apart from Larkin, on a set of medium compound of tyres. Now, 106.8 on a set of mediums is a really quick lap, I've got to be honest. Can he find the time to about a second to try and go into the 105s, maybe? It's not out of the question, I don't think. As Matthias, I think, has just popped up into 9th, just ahead of him.
Yeah, well, Matthias has always actually been pretty good in qualifying, and 9th position is certainly a respectable position to be in. He's not too far off of Montana up the front. I believe Chapelelli is actually further up on the lap. Chapelelli's not had the best of seasons. Of course, he had a qualifying ban last week, but he's back in full force for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the final race of the season. Now, up towards the last couple of corners, it's 50.2 through the second sector. This could be a really nice lap up towards Jung Sao. He's going to go flat towards the line, utilising the last of his ERS. The DRS is now open and on the run up to the line. Can he get ahead of Montana? He's going to cross the line, and he goes second position, but with a 6.4, very respectable time. He puts it onto the front row of the grid, just behind Montana. Yeah,
really good lap time there from Chapelelli. He's found 700ths of a second ahead of Verstappen, who's in the pit lane. Toxic as well in 4th. And Toxic really fancying his chances coming into tonight as well. Looking further down the field, we've got Rocco, Connor, Jasesas and Suku within the 106.6s out on track. There's literally only 4400ths of a second separating those 4 drivers out on track. And then looking further down, Alpha Trix all the way down to Killer Blue. That's also separated by 4200ths of a second. So it is so close out on track. Everyone is now either back into the pit lane or on an outlap in Montana's case. And Montana, let's focus on the championship, the 2-time champion, as we can now call him, of course, in League of Europe. It's just been a real phenomenal season, and I think the way the season's played out, certainly through the second half, Montana has been quicker than Alpha Trix at tracks that the wheel is more powerful around, and that's why I think we've seen him as champion.
Absolutely, but when Alpha Trix was weak, he remained strong. I'm not calling Alpha Trix weak, of course, he's still one of the best competitors, but in terms of their fight, Montana really has just shown his worth, and now becoming a 2-time world champion, he absolutely deserves all of everything that he's got this season. He's been so consistent. The only time I can think to where he's not had a good race was in Spain. Of course, that was our first commentary together, but he's just been so consistent. And as I say that, he invalidates. Come on, Montana.
Have you just done the first commentator's curse of the evening?
I think I might have there. Oh dear.
Yeah, everyone's now going to at him in the comment section now. Montana, 106.2. He looked good through turn 2, but he just got caught wide through the camber of the corner. I noticed actually, just before he set up on his lap, he was preparing for his lap by going on the camber of the corners to try and get as maximum run, as maximum speed down the hill and towards turn 1 as possible. Connor is on a lap behind him, and he's 200 up, 16.4 through the first sector, and Connor is in with a good shout of getting P3 in the championship. He's only been in the season for, 5-6 races or so, and Connor is already in with a shout of getting P3 out on track tonight. Can he take it to Montana?
Well, I definitely think he has got a shout. Realistically, other than Alpha Trix, he has been the only driver to actually take the fight to the Swiss Demon, but he has done so well in his promotion from Division 2. Sorry?
This is a good lap, 50.1 through the middle sector, 3/10 up, so theoretically it's going to be putting him in second, ahead of Chapelelli by about a 10th up this stage. Now Connor coming through the final couple of corners, he tries to take as thin a line as possible, running down to the line. He might even go quicker than Montana across the line. 106.3 is a 10th off, dead on. Found the time a little bit in the final sector, but Montana's still out on top. Everyone else, though, is on a lap. Toxic to the line. He improves up into to 4th, I should say, as Connor, Chapelelli, Neo was just improved up there as well. Verstappen 300s up. Not sure if there's anybody else on the lap.
Oh, Rocco's just crossed the line. He's gone 3rd position there. Really nice time from him.
Alpha Trix goes top. 106.1, really good lap there by Alpha Trix. Finds 7/10 of a second from a set of mediums onto a set of softs, and he goes quicker than Montana. That's what Alpha Trix like we like to see.
Yeah, he's done so well there. There's Killer Blue and M Short running in tandem at the moment, crossing the line. Let's see what Killer Blue can do. He crossed the line. There's M Short. I believe actually Killer Blue has just begun a lap, so really gave a nice tow to M Short there, who managed to put it in P10. I believe that was Cohen just finishing up a lap. He went 17th position there, 107 flat, so he's got a lot of time to find if he wants to be challenging in the top 10. I'm just trying to find anyone else who might be finishing up a run, and tyres is invalidated. I believe that is it for the second run of laps. We're getting to the point where drivers are going to start to think about maybe staying in the pits a little bit longer and then coming out at the end. And what we've just seen.
Wow, through turns 7 and 8, Killer Blue was flat out coming through Laranha and up the hill in towards SA at turn 8. Really good stuff through there, and he's on a really good lap, I think, through this middle sector. So we'll run above with this on a lap. Of course, M Short is part of the same team, part of the Excel team. He's a 10th up in this middle sector, Killer Blue, and that's why you would have seen, I think, Killer Blue giving M Short a little bit of a tow. I think if M Short was ahead of him, he obviously would have given the tow back, but we'd see that on the final run, I think. Killer Blue now towards the line. Is he going to improve his position? Yes, he improves up to 15th by a tenth of a second, goes ahead of Daka, who isn't expecting much. June, by the way, has been playing too much Cyberpunk and is down in 19th position. He's only got Bolin, of course, who had that qualifying ban behind him. But halfway through qualifying, there's Alpha Trix on top, Montana in second. I think we've got just ASAS coming through the final couple of corners. So shall we take on board a lap with him?
You know what, I think he should. He's been one of the best, not one of the best, but he's definitely been a top 10 performer as just beginning on his lap, coming up towards, I believe it was a Curva 1 that you said. You want to take a really nice wide line, take a late apex, set yourself up for the start of the center S, and he's done that pretty nicely, short shifting all the way up to 5th gear. Really nice run through there, keeping it tight to the inside, and now opening the DRS up there after Aposta. He's got his Red Bull teammate today, O'Connor, and he's only a little bit up on his time. He hasn't found too much. Says he's purple on the track map. Not sure how accurate that is. You know what co-masters are like now on the run up towards turn number 5, going down into 6th gear. He could have probably taken that a little bit tighter, but it's still pretty nice from Destasas now to the slowest part of the track, you would call it, and now riding through the gears really nicely, taking there, bit of a correction, and that's probably going to lose him a bit of time. Of course, this is where Albon and Hamilton had their come together last year, which denied Albon the podium. Is now through it towards the final sector. He's 2 tenths up, almost 3, and this could see him definitely into the top 5. Could be challenging the likes of Rocco and Connor, as now coming up towards Junsao and through the final parts of this lap. He's opened the DRS. What can just Desas do? We'll see what he can. He's coming across the line. It's P4. He splits Connor and Rocco. What a lap time. Only 0.03 of a second between him and Rocco. They're brilliant lap from just Desas.
If I'm not mistaken so far, I think that's just ASAS as one of his best lap times so far in qualifying ever. Montana's 400ths down, and he's got June in front of him out on track. June will be hoping to try and give him a bit of a tow running up the hill, but I think Montana's backed off this one, and I think Montana's going to come back into the pit lane. He is not coming back into the pit lane, but he's certainly not going to be on a quick lap running across the line. See if anybody else is on a lap. Connor has went down on the ERS, so he's not on a lap. Just ASAS, of course, has just completed Alpha Trix. Back on board with him. 300ths up, coming through turn 7, and then through turn 8, of course, at SA at the top of the hill. The highest point on this circuit at the Autodromo Juan Carlos Pache, or Jose Carlos Pache, as the track map describes. And now Alpha Trix coming through turn 10, then through turn 11, and then towards Junsao at turn 12. This is looking good from Alpha Trix. 49.9 middle sector, but he's 4 thousandths off. That's how quick he was through that middle sector last time around. And now Alpha Trix with 5.5 minutes to go in qualifying. He leads currently in qualifying. Can he find out a little bit of time? Now running down the straight. Can he go into the 105s? No, but he does improve. He improves by 0.04 of a second, and Alpha Trix has now laid the gauntlet down to Montana. I think that was Chapelelli, if I'm not mistaken, going 6th. Or somebody improved anyway. Suku is improving as well, coming across the line. Suku goes 5th, 106.3. And look at how many drivers we've got in the 106.3. We've got 5 drivers separated by 0.05 of a second.
It's absolutely crazy, and Juma's gone into 8th position. Nice time from him. Toxic has pulled into the pit lane at the end of his lap. The Daniel is just about to finish. He's 1/10 up through the second sector, and he goes 13th position, still outside the top 10, and decent enough time for him though. I'm not too sure who else is still on a lap at the moment. I believe Connor is on one, on a push lap at the moment. He's looking quite tidy through here. I'm not too sure what his first sector time was. A little bit of a correction, which is what some drivers seemingly are making. James, what do you think about this lap? Has it looked clean from your point of view?
I've just gone on board with him and he's a 10th down, so it's not clean, and he's went wide coming through Jun Sao, and he's taken a Raikkonen line coming through Jun Sao as well, and he spun the car just for good measure. So the 3 worst scenarios there has literally just happened. 1, he was 2/10ths down on his lap time. 2, he went wide coming through Jun Sao on the exit, and then 3, he decided to take a Raikkonen line and nearly go towards the other pit lane, to be honest, on this track, and he's just lost the car again. I think getting out of the way of Suku, who I thought was on a lap, but Connor is back into the pit safe and sound, and he's got 3.5 minutes just over to try and go. The Daniel on a lap. Matthias is just on a lap as well. He's on an out lap, in fact. So let's run on board with Matthias. He normally does quite well now in qualifying. He's got pretty much the tractor himself, and I've just spotted Cohen is coming out the pit lane as well. So if Cohen was to wait up, he could give Matthias a big tow running around this lap.
Absolutely, of course, fellow countrymen being teammates, that is a very good sign. They can communicate well, but it doesn't look like he's going to give them the tow through the Retroposta. Definitely could give it up towards the start-finish line just to give Matthias that little bit extra, but yeah, he's just a little bit down. So far as Matthias, he still can find the time. That is a very short first sector.
No, he can't.
Oh dear, how did he correct that?
Has he got any damage? First
He's
and
not.
foremost. He hasn't got any damage. That is absolutely unbelievable.
I'm confused.
Matthias has just pretty much been awarded their save of the season, I think.
He's completely gone sideways coming out of turn number 4, and somehow he's kept that out the wall within half a second. How's he done that? I applaud Matthias. I'll be messaging him about that one later. That is incredible how he saved that, but lap time in tatters, so he's probably going to have to come into the pits or go for a second push lap, I think.
I think second push lap might be the way to go, because look at the time. 2 minutes and 10 seconds, just over left to go. Cohen then will run on board with his teammate out on a lap. He's a 10th up through the first sector, 16.4, 107 flats. You would imagine that Cohen will be able to improve as he now comes up the hill towards Ferradura at turn 6. Ferradura, of course, as I said earlier on in qualifying, Alonso and Trudy making contact there in 2009. Cohen now through SA at turn 8, and then through turns 9. And then up the hill towards Pico de Pato at turn 10. Pico de Pato, of course, Hamilton and Albon coming together, of course, in 2019. And, of course, they repeated that in the Styrian Grand Prix, of course, this season in 2020. Let's see what Cohen is doing. 10th up, he's not lightning quick, if I've got to be honest. 50.5 through the middle sector. All the time he can try and find is coming through Junsao and the Subida dos Boxes through turn 13, now through turns 14 and 15, down the hill towards the line now for Cohen. Can he improve on his lap time? He does, 106.8. He found a bit of time in that final sector, but he doesn't find enough out on track. Montana is on a lap. And I think Connor is on a lap as well, but he's invalidated, I think, through the centre S's, if I'm not mistaken. Montana, though, will continue to run on board with him as he now comes down the hill towards Junsao. He needs to set a sub 49. It's a 49 flat. And now, in 49.9, I should say, gets corrected there on the exit of Junsao. And now, through the Subida dos Boxes at the top of the hill. Can he try and improve ahead of Alphatrix? He's got to lay it all on the line. You see him take the wide out line. He's not improving, I don't think, coming across the line. Yeah, he backed off that right at the end of the session. And Montana has to go for another lap. Connor will have to go for another lap. Verstappen has just gone on to a lap as well. Alphatrix not on a lap either. Who else is on a lap? Larkin P5. Larkin P5, 106.3. Really good lap time from Larkin.
Fair play to him, I guess. I believe I think M Short is one of the furthest up on a run at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Well, D Daniel is actually pretty far up on a lap at the moment, so he's actually set the exact same sector time as his previous best. So what can the Dutchman do? Of course, INL Division 1 champion. Can he replicate some of his performances here in Division 1 of League of Europe? Let's see him crossing the line. What could D Daniel do?
Oh, no.
He unfortunately lost it all in that
M
last
Short
sector.
improves. M Short improves from 13th up to 6th. That's how close qualifying is around here in League of Europe, honestly. Connor is on a lap 200s down. Verstappen, no 400s up. Coming across the line now, he goes third, ahead of Connor. Really good lap time from him. Alphatrix is through in the middle sector. Connor's through in the middle sector. I'm trying to find somebody that might be on a lap. Suku's up by a 10th. Suku then, can he try and improve on a lap? We've got Larkin as well coming across the line as well. Suku now around the final corner through 10-15 and now down towards the line. There's two cars going. Rocco goes quickest. Rocco has gone quickest. 106 flat. Alphatrix doesn't respond. Montana doesn't respond. It's all about Connor, but he's had a moment out of Junsao. And I can't believe what I've just seen. I saw two cars. Rocco was being given a tow by Doom, it seems, and Rocco has got pole. Absolutely unbelievable. It's not Doom, in fact. It's Montana, I think, who's given them a tow. So Rocco is out on top. Absolutely unbelievable. And I think Rocco, if I'm not mistaken, has joined NSX as a driver, not running on his NSX account, but Rocco has taken pole position. If you said to me Rocco would take pole position at the end of qualifying, I would laugh. But there we are. Rocco on top, and look at the field, separated by 0.8 of a second.
Oh my word, they do this every single week. But Rocco, what a star performance from him today. Of course, the tow is really going to help him there, but you cannot take away that lap from him. So close to the 105s, but he just couldn't grab that brass ring. But he's done so well to take pole from Alphatrix under his nose by 4/100ths of a second. The Valentino Rossi number. We'll go with that.
Yeah, Rocco taking it from Alphatrix in second. A turn up for the Books here in Division 1 with Montana in third, Verstappen in fourth, Suku in fifth, Connor in sixth, Larkin in seventh, M Short in eighth, Jasasas ninth, and Neo running off the top 10. Daka, good qualifying from him in 11th as well, with Doom in 12th, Chapelelli 13th, Toxic disappointing in 14th, D Daniel 15th, Campbell 16th, Matthias 17th, Killer Blue 18th, Cohen 19th. The top 16 are separated by less than 0.5 of a second. That is how close qualifying is here in Brazil. It's what we come to expect, but my goodness me, Rocco has taken pole position from the absolute gods, and I can see in the comment section now everyone wishing him well with that lap. Absolutely insane. The NSX effect happens in League of Europe Division 1.
Well, I think after seeing that lap, NSX might have a couple of applications coming through their letterbox. Give me some of that pace. I think just the NSX name itself will give you about 0.3 of a second. So, yeah, why not just name this League of Europe NSX, and then everyone else will get a lot faster.
Well, in TTML, we have the Norwegians, we have TNR and OWR in TTML, and NSX really dominates now, I think, Division 1, certainly. They've also had Yono crowned Division 3 champion, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head this season. So, real good debut season, I think, from NSX as a whole. And also, I believe they're competing in the 24 Hours of F1 next week as a full team. I think with only 5 or 6 drivers, albeit, but it's fascinating nonetheless. I've waffled on enough, though, because we're about to get going for the formation lap out on track. And Rocco is in one of the positions that only a driver could dream about. He's in pole position, out on track. He's on that set of soft compound of tyres. And look, we've got an even split down the field. Set of softs for the top 10, of course they qualified on that set of tyres, and everyone else on a set of medium compound of tyres. How would you see the medium runners certainly get on early on? Because we've got the likes of Chapelelli, Toxic, D Daniel, Campbell. There's 3 drivers at least in that are fighting for P3 out on track tonight.
Yeah, they're all very quick drivers, and being on that alternate strategy, they have got a little bit more freedom. And they're going to be starting on tyres that are not scrubbed at all, of course. Everyone inside the top 10, that is the same set of tyres that they did their final qualifying laps that put them into that top 10 position. So, the advantage will probably go to the soft runners at the beginning of the race, but as the tyres get older and the laps go on, those mediums are going to pick up pace, and they can go longer and be on the faster tyre later on in the Grand Prix. So really, the alternate strategy gives you a lot more freedom in that sense, and we could definitely see Chapelele, Toxic, and D Daniel, provided none of them get involved in any skirmishes or too many crashes at all this race, then we could definitely see them challenging for some of the top positions, I think.
Yeah, just to focus as well on the championship standings. First two, of course, wrapped up their positions ages ago. Suku, third on 109 points. He starts fifth. D Daniel in fourth in the championship on 100. He starts 15th. Connor in 5th on 98, he starts 6th. Campbell in 6th on 93, he starts 16th. And Verstappen in 7th, he starts 4th. So really, it's all between Verstappen, Suku and Connor maybe for that top 3. There's a predicted pit stop strategy. Dan, quickly, top 3 from you.
Top 3, Rocco will win this race. Then we'll say Montana, then Alphatrix.
What about Rocco tonight in the comment section? There's totally no bias as we come to the final Grand Prix of the season here in League of Division 1. But for the final time, we are about to get underway, and I hope the lights do come on, and they have indeed. The 5 red lights are now going out, here out on track for the final race of the season, and it's lights out and away we go. Alphatrix gets a very good start. We've already had a bit of a graphics glitch off the start. Rocco, Alphatrix led the lead down towards turn 1, and Rocco's held the lead. Down in towards turn 1, Montana's under pressure as well from a car in behind, which I think is Verstappen, if I'm not mistaken. Verstappen trying to go around the outside through the centre S's, but everyone's clean through. Looking further down the field, we've got the likes of, well, I don't know who we've got the likes of further down the field, but Montana in 3rd. Rocco leads, though, coming out of turn 4 for the first time. Alphatrix in 2nd on the run towards Ferradura. Montana in 3rd, Verstappen 4th. Suku's there in 5th, Larkin in 6th, Connor into 7th, M Short 8th. He's had a good start, I think. Just Asas 9th, Neo running off the top 10. So the top 10, pretty much, as we see, June trying to go down the inside there of Toxic, further down the field. Everyone not changing many positions. I don't think we've actually seen any contact so far.
No, it doesn't look like there's been any crashes.
Oh, side by side. Daka, Matthias. Matthias around the outside. Coming through turn 11. Now Daka on the outside line. Now towards John South. This will be a terrific overtake from Daka. If he can try and regain the position. Just Asas is round. Just Asas is round through John South. And that is him. Pretty much out of contention. Just Asas is round. Alphatrix is right on the back of Rocco for the lead of the race. He's side by side with them. Running down the hill and towards turn 1 now. Through cover 1. Rocco hanging on. But Alphatrix is there. Alphatrix on the inside line. Grabs the lead of the race. Brilliant overtake. And now Montana is around the outside of Rocco. We could have 3 wide running down towards the Cedar del Lago. Alphatrix. Montana and Alphatrix. Montana's trying to go around the outside of the Cedar del Lago. Alphatrix shuts the door. This is the battle we wanted to see all season. And now we're getting it on the final race of the season. Alphatrix leads, Montana 2nd, Rocco in 3rd. You saw something further down the field, I think. D Daniel balling into the pits.
I don't know what's happened with D Daniel there, all balling actually, but well, that was quite the interesting scrap. Unfortunately, Rocco was left out to dry, and his lead was short-lived. But yeah, I was going to mention about Daka's. I was going to assume that he had damage, but he hasn't pitted. He dropped down 5 positions. Sorry, it's actually, I believe it's 4 positions now, because of the drivers coming into the pit lane. But he has not had a good start. He started in 11th, which is typically the best position you want to be in, but it just wasn't meant to be for him. Now, Chapelele is the leading medium runner. He is going to be one to watch later on in the Grand Prix. Now, finally,
here comes Connor. Connor to the inside line, sorry to cut in. Larkin on the inside line, I should say, now for turn 2, gets the move done. Connor's still on the back of him, but Connor pretty much shoving Larkin around through the centre S's, and now running down towards the Cedar del Lago. Is he going to try and go for the move down the inside line? Plenty of overtakes happening further down the field. I think Juma's got to move down on Toxic further down the field, and that's for 11th. And Connor forcing Larkin off track. He had the car down the inside line, albeit, and he's through and he's up into 6th position. Toxic right on the back of June, but I believe he's just lost that position, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think Toxic was the one losing out in comparison. I believe it was Toxic in front, then Doom coming up behind him. So Doom could be within a shout of getting his first points of the season, unless Toxic has anything to say about it. He's having a look, but he couldn't, unfortunately, let and send it there. As we'll just see, they're all kind of spacing out a little bit, except the closest gap on circuit at the moment is between Toxic and Doom. So when will the DRS be enabled? I believe it is this time by, it's not lap number 3 yet, or unless it is.
It is.
Lap
4.
It is already.
We're going on to lap 4 already. You must have
Lost.
a graphics glitch on your end, maybe, unless you weren't seeing that right. Goodness me. Alpha Trix does lead. Yeah, DRS is now enabled, of course, on lap 3 around. Montana in 4th. Goodness me. You need to take a lesson in maths, honestly. Montana right on the back of Alpha Trix, running down into the Cedar Largo, not quite close enough for Verstappen. Right on the back of Rocco as well. And coming out now up towards Ferradura. It's really been a clean start from everyone. Just ASOS, by the way, has recovered. He's now in 18th position after those pit stops with Daniel and Bolin. Bolin pitting in for an early strategy, and looking at the tyres that they've gone on to, as long as I get them up, Daniel interestingly on a set of soft compound of tyres and Bolin on a set of hard. So clearly a change up in strategy there, as we've got Neo right on the back of M Short for 8th.
Yeah, well, M Short is also trying to challenge his teammate who'd lost the position a lap previously to Connor, who's now beginning to just scurry up a little bit ahead of him. So could be feeling the pressure from his teammate. Of course, coming up from Division 2 is M Short. He's been a very impressive driver. He's not always been there, but he's always been in that top 10 position. But it looks like Larkin is actually closer to Connor than M Short is to Larkin, as Neo's also trying to find a way through. They're all just getting close to each other. Alpha Trix and Montana, that gap kind of remaining stagnant at the moment. Just kind of staying between about 2 to 4 tenths, as you can see. He closes up with the DRS, does Montana, but he just can't find a way past like a brick wall. Is Alpha Trix, and he's used up a lot of the DRS. Could be a weakness later on into the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and of course these guys do have to have a high downforce setup, especially around a track here like Interlagos. Alpha Trix leading the way for Montana in 2nd, Rocco in 3rd. Rocco's maintaining the pace quite nicely, but I only think it's because he's in a little bit of dirty air and he's just trying to keep up with the back of Montana at this stage. Otherwise, I think Suka was the quicker out of 3rd, 4th and 5th at this stage, because he's now on the back of Verstappen and he's been looking to try and get through for the last 2 laps now. And he's going to try and possibly try and get this move done. Not certainly down in towards Junsao, but maybe down in towards Turn 1 or Curva 1 to try and get the move done. But Alpha Trix does lead the way. Further down the field, looks like Schiaparelli is right on the back as well of Neo. He's on a set of medium compound tyres. They're on merit. And actually, Neo looks like he's slightly slowing up out in front. And actually, Montana, for the race lead, takes it. Absolutely unexpectedly, Montana, it was 0.6 of a second the last time I saw that gap. Montana now takes the lead of the race from Alpha Trix, and now Alpha Trix has got to fight back, but Montana through, and he's into the lead of the race. That was so quick on board, I didn't get a chance to see the actual overtake, as M Short is on the back of Larkin, but he's not going to go for the move done. Toxic has picked up the first 3-second time penalty of the night.
Well, it's quite easy. I believe that was through the first couple of the corners in the centre S's. But yeah, I think Alpha Trix was just caught napping by Montana. Didn't even have to use too much of his ERS off. He's got 65% on board that Alfa Romeo car, and he's already beginning to put a slight gap to the Alpha Trix behind him. Rocco's also being kind of fed back into this gap. Unfortunately, it looks like Connor's going to begin to lose his DRS to Suku, so he can't keep up with the top 5. I don't know where Connor's pace has gone. He's been fighting with the front, and now he's only sitting in 6th position. Going to leave him vulnerable to guys like Larkin and M Short. Larkin getting onto the curve there, almost losing the car, but luckily was able to hold it as coming up towards Junsao for the 6th time of the race. Doesn't look like anyone's close enough to make any moves, but now back at the front, Alpha Trix is going to be the one attacking Montana. This could be the fight that we have wanted, what we would have wanted last race, but of course Alpha Trix, you know what happened to him.
Yeah, right on the back as he comes down towards the Cedar del Lago. Lap 7 out of 36. Nearly a quarter of the way through the race here in Brazil. It's Montana who leads, Alpha Trix 2nd, Rocco in 3rd. Just to remind you as well about the position changes out on track. 2 positions gained from Montana, from 3rd on the grid up to 1st. Rocco down 2 positions. Just ASOS, of course, losing the most positions out on track. 9. Daka's lost 4. Daniel has lost 4 as well. Most positions gained, well, it's a tie between Schiaparelli, Campbell and Matthias, with 3 positions gained each. 1 from 13th, 1 from 16th and 1 from 17th on the grid. As Alpha Trix gets onto the back now. Coming through toward Junsao at turn 12. And this is the technical final corner, as I say, out on track. And now Alpha Trix will try and just use up a little bit of overtake mode to try and get this move done. And he's certainly going to be close enough. He might not even need the overtake mode. He switches to the inside line. I think Montana's just going to invite him through, to be honest. And Alpha Trix, yeah, Montana's not going to fight that one. Alphatrix back through, and he's into the lead of the race. But this means Montana has now got to give us the one thing, and the one thing that we've all been waiting for, a battle between these two for the win of the race. And here comes Montana now, on the back of Alphatrix to the inside line. We're just going to see the yo-yo effect, I think, between these two currently. And it is Montana who retakes the lead from Alphatrix. But Alphatrix now right on the back of him, running up towards Ferrajura for the 8th time out on track. Rocco, Verstappen and Suku, these guys have got to be careful. They don't want to fight too much because they're going to concede time to the drivers in behind. And they've got now Connor joining in the fight as well. We've pretty much got a train down to 14th.
This is what we want to see. This is League of Europe, and it was really smart from Montana to let Alphatrix by coming up towards turn number 1, because then he could utilise the DRS up towards turn number 4. We could see a repeat of it again as up towards Junsao now. Can Alphatrix retake P1 from Montana and actually maintain it? We'll have to see. It looks like Montana's going to run a little bit more defensive and maybe try and use some overtake. That's not going to deter Alphatrix just closing up as much as he can. Is he going to try and make the send? He's just a tad too far back, but he's going to have the opportunity up towards turn number 4. He looks like he's got a bit of a better run coming up through
Montana.
these center S's. But Montana really nice off the exit, and he's going to go defensive to the inside. Rocco's also trying to peek a nose in this fight as well. We could see a 3-car battle for the lead between Rocco, Alphatrix and Montana, with Verstappen and Suku watching from behind. We've got yellow flag. I think that might be just Ace that's running off.
Yep, just as that's running off. I was just flicking through on Killer Blue as well. Killer Blue right on the back of Dakar, running up towards Ferrajura for 15th position out on track. Jasasas, I think, made a slight mistake. He ran wide slightly, had a bit of half spin, but I think he's recovered it. He's only lost 2 seconds to the back of the likes of Cohen. But Killer Blue right on the back of Dakar as well. Could be another interesting battle to watch on as this race goes on. Alphatrix, by the way, has lost 8/10 of a second as Montana's just set the purple middle sector out on track, and he's now 7/10 clear. And because this is not really a straight heavy track and it's all about the cornering, this is why we're seeing Montana leading this race, because he's on a wheel, Alphatrix of course on a pad in 2nd position. Lap 10 out of 36 beginning. It's Montana who leads, Alphatrix 2nd, Rocco in 3rd. We haven't really seen a change in positions for a while. We'll see a change in position here though for 15th, as now Killer Blue goes down the inside of Dakar, gets the move done, and the Excel man out on track is through and he's up into 15th.
Another battle looking up ahead. Chapelet trying to find a way through on Neo. Doesn't look like he can find a way past up towards turn number 4, but he was close enough there. But Neo luckily getting the DRS off the card in front as battle at the lead. It looks like they're beginning to space out a bit. Alphatrix beginning to lose a bit of time to Montana, and Rocco's also losing a bit, so we could see the fight come to an end, but we're not going to be left hungry for battles, because we'll see some shaping up very soon. Verstappen and Suku very, very close to the back of Rocco. Verstappen's got a lot less ERS than Suku and Rocco, so he's going to be in a bit of a more vulnerable position. We'll see on the run up towards turn number 1 if either of them can make a move. Meanwhile though, M Short also feeling the pressure from Neo, so they're all still trying their hardest to get involved in fights, but we can't see it because they're stuck in this sort of DRS perpetual loop at the moment.
Yeah, they are indeed locking as well, closing up to the back of Connor. Got a tremendous run out of the centre S though, through turn 2. And he could get the run now on Connor down towards turn 3, but Connor just used up a little bit of overtake mode, I think, there. Opens up the DRS, only maintains position. Chapelet, interestingly though, on a set of medium compound of tyres, now on the back of Neo and M Short. I think at this stage in the race, the softs are going to last quite a long way into this race. But Chapelet on a set of mediums, he is now going to try and take some opportunities to try and get some moves done, because I think we're now beginning to see the mediums begin to come into play. We're right on with June, because Chapelet is jumping about on my screen. June right on the back as well as Chapelet, but Chapelet, I think, as long as he stays in the session and doesn't disconnect, I think he's running all over the back of these guys.
Yeah, we get to that point where those medium tyres are going to get faster than the softs. They are coming towards the end of their life, those soft tyres, and you can definitely see by the drop-off in pace. It's just about Chapelet. When are these guys in front of him going to hit, and how much is he going to have to stress to actually find a way through? He's closing up to the back of Neo, still jumping all over the place. I really hope he doesn't lag out here, because we could definitely see some great pace, even though Chapelet is known before his spins. He almost looked like he went straight into the inside wall there. So I'm really praying that he doesn't lag out, but he's right onto the back of Neo. That DRS is just keeping Neo in this fight, and it's making it so impossible for Chapelele, who still jumps about. I can't handle this.
Rumble with Suku though, for 4th and 5th as well, out on track. Suku's beginning to get onto the back of Verstappen, and Verstappen has just dropped. Oh my goodness me, Suku was late on the brakes there, nearly collided into the back of Verstappen, but Montana leads a third of the way through. AlphaTrix 2nd, Rocco 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Suku in 5th. Really hope you are enjoying this race. It is the final race of the season from us here, of course, in League of Europe Division 1, and there will be an announcement from myself at the end of this stream, and I'm sure Dan will join me as well with that announcement as well, I'm sure. AlphaTrix right on the back though of Montana. Chapelele, for me, that timing glitch has now receded. Verstappen is in from 4th.
Looked like he cut the pit entry a little bit there, Verstappen. Hopefully he isn't going to get penalised for that, but it looked a little bit sketchy. It might have just been me and my eyes going bad. You can tell by the way I called lap number 3 lap number 2. I've not got the best eyesight in the world, but meanwhile at the front, AlphaTrix has found himself catching back up to Montana. Now this is a track where the padding's beneficial, and we can definitely see AlphaTrix is beginning to close in on the NSX driver, the Alfa Romeo man himself, the champion Montana. He's used up a lot of ERS, has Montana. He's only got about 50% left. AlphaTrix, full beans there. He's got 100%. He can utilise that to the best of his ability. But for Verstappen, it is the medium sides. You can expect the soft mediums here. I reckon these guys are going to try and extend, maybe come in this lap or come in the next 1 or 2 laps is when I think all of the soft drivers will come in. But AlphaTrix looking onto the back of Montana. Will he lead at the pit stop phase? He's going to use some of his DRS here. And I don't think he's coming to the pits. Montana fakes him.
Here comes AlphaTrix.
It's back on. Yeah, here it is, AlphaTrix now having to look to the outside into towards turn number 1. Can he get the move as they're into the braking zone? Montana brakes later. Rocco still being invited back into this fight as up towards turn number 4, down the retro they go. DRS is now enabled for AlphaTrix. He just can't find a way through on Montana. He can't go for a send here. You can't make the move. And Montana still defends well from AlphaTrix, but what a nice skirmish we saw there. And Rocco is almost back in that DRS range of the guys in front. Do not count him out. He is still going to be crucial in this fight.
Rocco there on merit, I think. If I've got to be honest, he's driving superbly well so far here out on track. Now, I hope I've said that and he's not going to prove me wrong by crashing out of this race. That will be another commentator's curse that will add up to my end of season tally, I'm sure. Montana leading the way though, out on track with AlphaTrix in 2nd. And AlphaTrix, I think, is just having a little bit of sense of non-urgency, I think, out on track. He's just being very careful. He doesn't want to see that gap close in. Verstappen, by the way, if these guys come into the pits now, they're going to stay out. No, they're not. Montana is in. AlphaTrix stays out. Rocco is in. So both NSX boys are in, and Rocco is in, locking in as well. I'm sure to have to continue on for another lap. But that man to watch is Verstappen, and Verstappen is coming through the beat of those boxes at turn 14 now. And let's see where he's going to come out. Montana only coming out of his pit box now. I think Verstappen is going to be really close to the back. New fastest lap of the race as well. He will have the overspeed. He might get Montana here, you know.
Oh my god. He's not
close enough.
He's not got it.
The second.
It's so close.
The second, the gap, that inside track, I think, coming to Montana's advantage, but crucially, Verstappen ahead now of Rocco. So Verstappen has possibly put himself, maybe, in with a chance of getting a podium, certainly out on track. He's now maybe in a net P2, net P3, I think. So really good stuff going on. Neo is on the back of Larkin. I think Larkin has managed to undercut as well on Neo. He's up into 16th, 17th for now. That man there, though, AlphaTrix, should come into the pit lane this lap. No, he continues on. So AlphaTrix continues on for at least another lap out on track. Suku in, M Short now in. And Connor's still continuing as well.
What? They're just trying to save the tyres later on in the Grand Prix and risk it all now. But one thing I want to mention is what happened to Rocco there. He is now miles off the pace of Montana and Verstappen's, or out of DRS range of Verstappen up ahead. So I wonder if he got held at any point. Suku's coming out the pit lane, and I don't think staying out on those softs is going to be too beneficial for him. He's going to come out quite a ways back from Rocco.
Larkin.
He's actually going to get jumped by Larkin almost there, almost side by side up towards turn number 4, but he just can't find his way through. But lost a lot of time there. Has the pole himself, Suku, and Larkin right up the back of him. I believe he jumped Neo too on track, if I'm not mistaken, or it was in the pit lane.
Yeah, he did. I think Larkin jumped Neo. Suku was jumped both of them, if I'm not mistaken, out on track. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, in the comments section. AlphaTrix leading 2.6 seconds from Connor in second. I would imagine AlphaTrix is going to come into the pits this lap, and yes, he does. He's into the pit lane from the lead of the race, and he gets that stop 45 mile an hour. I clock that into the pit lane. Connor as well into the pit lane. That means Ciappellelli now leads the race, and we've essentially now got a two-way race essentially out on track as Dakker's closing in on the back of Killer Blue now for 6th out on track, not getting the move done down in towards turn 1. AlphaTrix is going to be well behind. He's going to be behind Verstappen maybe coming out of the pit lane. It's going to be side by side, isn't it? Certainly between either him and Rocco.
I think Rocco might have the jump.
Rocco's got him.
Here. He's got it.
And
Verstappen.
Verstappen just looks like he slowed up there slightly as well. Dakker's run on the back of Killer Blue, run up the hill through Ferradura. Up 17 out of 36. Ciappellelli leads Doom in second, Toxic in third. Yeah, what I was saying is that we're going to see essentially a two-way race now. We're going to see Ciappellelli, Doom, all the way down to Cohen, plus Bolin, probably go on to a set of soft compound tyres towards the end of the race. All of these guys that are here, Montana, Verstappen and the likes further down towards just Asas and D. Daniel, who's just came into the pit lane again, they're probably all going to go on to these tyres to the end of the race. So we're pretty much going to see softs begin to come into contention later on in the race. Mediums begin to happen later on in the race. We've got Cohen now closing up on the back of Dakker. This is for 7th and 8th. Now Dakker to the outside line. Cohen's on the inside line. Cohen just decides to have a look. It doesn't get the move done, and Killer Blue just in front of these guys as well. And Dakker, of course, will be commentating you through Division 2 later on tonight at 8:10, of course, UK time. He now tries to close up onto the back. Connor's picked up a 3-second time, but I think he's got a tremendous run here on the back as Rocco goes for a step and just flicking through. He gets the move done. So Rocco through, and Connor down the inside on Neo gets the move done as well. That's a very late breaking move there from Connor, and he's got the move done down the inside. Neo's going to try and have a come back at him, but Connor's got that move signed, sealed and delivered, and he's through, and he's up into 15th position. And Rocco 10th, Verstappen 11th, and AlphaTrix is just all over the back. He's trying to find as less dirty air as possible at this stage in the race.
Absolutely. It's now about 3 seconds off the back of Montana, probably 3.5, so I'd imagine he's not going to want to waste any time and being stuck behind Verstappen and Rocco. Get onto the curve there, as Verstappen's going to have the DRS on Rocco ahead. Will AlphaTrix try and commit to this? He's using his overtake, as now he's just trying to go around the outside of Verstappen. They're side by side coming up towards turn number 1. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? I believe it's going to be AlphaTrix, and Verstappen actually just moves in line with AlphaTrix and lets him by on that one. But will AlphaTrix try for 2 for 1 there, as he's a little bit too far back from Rocco, but he's definitely going to him and trying to catch Montana ahead.
Yeah, so Verstappen losing that position to AlphaTrix was quite an easy move, to be honest, at the end. And Verstappen, crucially, I think, is letting these guys maybe through. He knows that P3 is not on the cards in terms of the Drivers' Championship, and a P3 out on track is going from his grasp as well. Watch out, though, because Suku's catching. And you know Suku, he likes to have a good second half of this race, and he's now just over a second off the back of Verstappen as Montana has got the move done on Cohen. I think Cohen ran wide there at the top of the hill through Bico de Pato, and Montana is through, and he's up into 8th position. And now he will try and get the move done on Dakker and Killer Blue just ahead as Toxic, Campbell are into the pit lane.
I think that's a little bit early from their behalf. Meanwhile, AlphaTrix onto the back of Rocco. This was a net P2 on circuit. He did the same thing to Verstappen last time out. It looks like Rocco tried to defend it there. He's just found the way through though, and Rocco really is defending himself tonight. As you said, he is absolutely on merit. He's had a performance like this earlier on in the season, but you know what? He's never been this quick, I think. He has absolutely outdone himself today, I think, so far.
He really has, and honestly, it's been a fantastic race to watch from his perspective. Alphatrix, though, getting that move done, I applauded that, because Alphatrix literally, they didn't give that much room to each other. It was literally inches apart in terms of a front wing contact or an end plate coming off. Alphatrix just moved across. He used his sensors. Rocco used his sensors as well, and both of them delivered a really clean move there. Alphatrix there, he's up to 7th, but Rocco, good defensive driving, down to 8th, but he can try and fight back. Somebody that is trying to fight through the traffic, though, is Montana, who's now on the back of Killer Blue. Schiaparelli is into the pit lane from the lead of the race. Doom is in as well. I think Matthias will pit in and Killer Blue will pit in. And now this promotes Montana into the lead of the race. Dakar also in. Further down the field, Verstappen trying to get onto the back of Rocco, running down towards turn 1. But it's that man out in front once again. Montana, the championship leader, the two-time champion here in League of Europe, leads by 2.3 seconds, more than halfway through, with Rocco 3rd, Verstappen 4th, and Suka in 5th. I think the real interesting perspective now is we could get a possible 8-way, 9-way maybe for 2nd.
Oh my goodness. They don't count out Schiaparelli as well, because he is only 1.7 seconds off of these guys on that fresh set of soft tyres. He is going to be absolutely rapid. I think we'll see a fastest lap come out from him already.
Oh, Cohen! Down the inside line, trying to get the move done on Killer Blue, but that is not going to work. And Cohen down the inside line, always going to close that gap, was Killer Blue. Trying to go for a move, that really wasn't his, and he spun the car. Unfortunate bit of contact that, no front wing damage to report, but just a silly move, I think. Silly commitment to the move, and Cohen now on that set of softs, albeit he is going to be one of the quickest drivers now out on track on that set of tyres, but that is his race now, and his hope for points possibly as well over and done with. As now June tries to close up to the back of Campbell, 4/10 of a second. June is on maybe for his first points of the season, and this will be a really rare thing of occurrence. He's now close up to the back of Campbell, but not close enough down in towards turn 1. Just a few points as well. League of Europe are running Formula 2 next season, changing, I think, from Monday, if I'm not mistaken, next season. And that is, of course, going to be taking place with the new Formula 2 cars. That's just been released in the patch. A settled course has been set up 22nd of January. And we've got the 24 Hours of F1 event next week. And Dan, I believe you've signed up for commentary alongside me as well.
Yeah, I really hope that we get a chance to do it together. I'm not sure what we've picked for our schedules and how they line up, but yeah, I'm really excited for the event, and it's going to be great. We're going to see a lot of these guys here. I believe that Montana and Alphatrix are going to be a part of the same team, if I'm not mistaken, on Team NSX. Yeah. Do correct me if I am wrong, but it's going to be great to see this fight.
It's going to be fantastic to see this fight. Speaking of fights, Doom again on the back of Campbell, and this time it looks like he's going to get the move done. I can already see the vision down towards turn 1 of Doom getting this move done. He doesn't even need down towards turn 1. He's already got the move done down the inside. There he goes. And M Short and Schiaparelli having a little bit of contact slightly. M Short lagging slightly. Schiaparelli lagging slightly to side by side, coming out of the centre S's. Now Schiaparelli tries to use up that little bit of overtake mode. He's side by side. It's really difficult to try and decipher where he is. He's desync out on track trying to go for the move, but he has got that move done on M Short, and he's through and he's up into 8th position. Great move despite the lag.
Yeah, it would have been a much prettier move if he wasn't lagging around that one.
Dakar down the inside line of Killer Blue as well for 15th, trying to get the move done. Killer Blue forced out wide there. That 3-second time penalty needs to be removed. And Dakar, though, through, and he's up into a 16th position now, out on track. Not 15th, and Schiaparelli has left the session, unfortunately. Hopefully, he could be able to rejoin and improve his internet, but you never know. Alphatrix, by the way, is eating into that margin on Montana. 1.7 seconds out on track. It was 2.4. Montana maybe getting closed down by Alphatrix towards the end.
Yeah, and we can see a really great fight from those guys. I'm just trying to send an invite to Schiaparelli, but my screen is frozen.
Oh no.
There it is, there it is.
Don't say that.
Okay, I'm just trying to get Schiaparelli back in the session, because I wouldn't like it for his race to go up in flames, because he's actually been really quick this race.
Suku run on the back of a Verstappen while you do that. Tries to go around the outside of Desida de Largo. Oh, Verstappen getting the ear out now. Larkin joining in on the act as well. Running up towards Ferragura. Suku trying to get the move done around the outside. Was left hung out to dry. And Verstappen hangs on to P4. Verstappen got to try and put on a defensive masterclass out on track. Somebody trying to put on an attacking masterclass is Killer Blue, who tries to get the run up towards Ferragura on Dakar. This is for 16th and 17th once again. And hopefully everyone is enjoying this race out on track tonight. It is Montana who leads 1.5 seconds from Alpha Trix in second, Rocco in third. Rocco is still there on merit, and he's putting it up against the big boys here tonight, which is really good to see. Verstappen there in fourth, Suku in fifth, Larkin in sixth. We're 2/3 of the way through here tonight in Division 1. Division 2 and Division 5, of course, coming up at 8:10 UK time. Nobody, I don't think, trying to get the move done. Toxic on the back of M Short, not close enough.
I think I'm frozen at the moment. I'm trying to get back into this here. I'm riding on board with the racing point. There's a Ferrari. I think that's Suku on top of Verstappen.
Yep, down the inside of Verstappen. Gets the move done. Brilliant stuff by Suku up to P4. I'll try and continue on while you fix your frozen screen. Hopefully it's not the case, but I've got to try and send an invite to you. Toxic is on the back of M Short for 9th and 10th. Softs against mediums, and Toxic will be one of the quickest towards the end of the race. But currently, as it stands, I'm sure holding all the cards in 9th out on track. Not sure if you are back with us or if you're still frozen.
I'm going to reload my app, but you don't need to send me an invite. I can join through the party. So,
brilliant.
That's okay.
Oh, there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. Toxic! Whoa, that's a weird yellow flag. That's a weird yellow flag. Really strange. So as Dan goes, Larkin on the back of Verstappen. This is for P5. Larkin to the outside line, Verstappen on the inside line, and Larkin pretty much pulls off an Alpha Trix sort of move down in towards turn 1, gets the move done, and he's up into 5th, and I'll have to feel for Verstappen. It's Verstappen hunting day, as he's now got Connor, one of the quickest drivers on the grid, trying to go too wide. He's not going to get two of them, is he? He will try on the back of Larkin. Larkin shuts across right at the death, and now Connor will try and get Larkin on the run towards up Ferragura, but quite not close enough to the back of him. He tried to go for 2, he only got 1, but Connor's through and he's up into 6th nonetheless. Matthias is through on Chapelletti's AI, and he's through and up into 13th, with Bolin now setting the fastest lap out on track. Battle for 5th, battle for 6th, all aboard the Verstappen train, says Lenny. Spike and Chips, of course, Division 2 driver tuning into the comment section there. Yeah, Verstappen train indeed, and Neo and M Short are on the back of that at the minute. We see Connor getting out wide there, coming through to Cedar de Largo. And Suku P4, Larkin P5, Connor P6, Verstappen P7 out on track. 34 viewers. Really good to see every single one of you tuning in. As now Connor closes up to the back of Larkin once again. Down in towards turn 1. Not quite close enough out on track, as Dan comments Lenny the goat in the comment section. Goodness me, we need an emoji of a goat, I think, in that comment section there. Larkin on the back of Suku, as he now tries to get the move done down in towards turn 4 to Cedar de Largo. Again, not close enough. 3/4 of the way through, 75% race distance. Montana leads from Alpha Trix in second, Rocco in third, Suku fourth, with Larkin in fifth, Connor sixth, Verstappen seventh, Neo in eighth, and Short ninth, and Doom in P10. Doom now, of course, ahead of Toxic, which I think is why we saw a brief yellow flag. Yellow flag in sector 1 is Bolin retiring out of the race. So Bolin, first DNF, and it's only taken 27 laps for that to happen. So unfortunate, but Bolin decides to retire in the pit lane. Wouldn't have picked up any points, I don't think, from his position, but hopefully we get to see a really good race. Alpha Trix, though, 1.2 seconds off the back of Montana, and I believe you're back.
I am back. Hello. I've got no intervals at the moment.
Connor's left the session.
He's always had issues with his lag.
Connor's left the session, yeah.
Unlucky.
Verstappen's gone through on him. Such a shame. Larkin run on the back of Suku, though. I've shown a lot of people on 2 warnings. Yeah, I was going to say Lenny can check that, but you're not alongside me in the commentary box. There's Bolin's AI card getting out of the way. Just about gets out of the way, in fact. And now Suku P4, Larkin P5. Looking at penalties, Connor, Doom, Toxic, Matthias, Killer Blue, D. Daniel, 3 seconds. But is anybody on second warnings and possibly going to pick up a penalty?
Just having a look. Only one warning for Montana. No warnings on board with Alphatrix. Rocco's got a warning. Suku is on 2 warnings. Larkin has got 2 warnings. And there's Verstappen, 1 warning on board with him. Neo has got 2 warnings. Lenny is quite spot on with this one. No, nothing for M Short. And June has got a penalty and a warning as well. So yeah, he's not running too hot at the moment. And Toxic has got a penalty and a warning. Connor, of course, is out of the session, doesn't really matter. Campbell, 2 warnings. Matthias, he's got a penalty. Just Asas has got 2 warnings. Yeah, Lenny's really spot on with this one. Apologies for the voice crack. Dak has got 2 warnings. Killer Blue has got a penalty. Chapelelli's out of the session. Cohen has got 2 warnings. D. Daniel has got a penalty and a warning. And then Bolin, of course, out of this race. So, yeah, pretty smart there from Lenny. Alphatrix is back within a second.
Alphatrix is indeed within a second. That's the thing I was just going to come on to before you beat me to the punch, as Montana leads by 0.8 of a second. Alphatrix in second. Now, I've got to be honest, and I don't want to curse this. This has got the hallmarks of what we've wanted all season now. Montana and Alphatrix, I believe, had a really good battle early on in the race. Toxic has just been overtaken, I think, with a mistake slightly from him, and Campbell now through, he's up into P10. Toxic just overheating the tyres, has lost the position for that position out on track. Larkin trying to get it close to the back of Suku, not quite close enough, but Alphatrix Montana, what I was saying, this has got the hallmarks now of the battle we wanted to see all season between these two. He will not close up to overtake him this time around, but with only 7 more laps to go, 6.5 if you're being picky, it is now game time for Montana and Alphatrix out on track. Suku and Larkin still fighting for P4 as well.
Absolutely. If we can see a battle between these two, it will go down in the history books of League of Europe. 2 absolute giants coming together on lap number 30 of the Grand Prix. 3 tenths is a gap now. Alphatrix really has come alive after the pit stop phase. 2 laps fresher on board with that Williams car. We'll see what he can do towards turn number 1. Up towards Jun Sao. There's another penalty along with June. He's a leading soft runner. Montana, he has let him through there because the DRS detection point is right now, so he's going to get that DRS on board against Alphatrix. Alphatrix probably won't be too happy about that one, but all is fair. And yeah, he can't get close enough this time, but definitely turn 4 is going to be his opportunity.
Just even some breaking news, by the way, delivered from Autosport. Lewis Hamilton not 100% fit apparently to race tomorrow. It's his call if he wants to race tomorrow. Lewis Hamilton might be out of the Mercedes seat, looking at what I've just seen on Twitter from Autosport. So Lewis Hamilton has to make the call tomorrow if he's fit enough to race. I would imagine if he's not fit enough to race, that Mercedes seat, we could see 19 cars out on track, because I don't think they'll get Russell in at that time.
Why not? Just move Russell up. Just say, yeah, here you are. I'd love to see Russell having a charge to the field, because I'd imagine they wouldn't let him take Hamilton's spot. But yeah, why not? I mean, I really do hope Lewis is okay to race, because I love watching him. He's just probably is one of the best of all time, if not the best. But I do wish for him to have a good recovery if he is not 100% fit. And if he is fit, he can race tomorrow, and we'll love to see that.
Yeah, P3, of course, he is starting tomorrow. Bottas P2, Verstappen P1. But Alphatrix leading the way down the hill in towards turn 1 once again. 0.4 of a second separating Alphatrix and Montana out on track. Rocco in third. Connor, by the way, is just hopping down the field because he's an AI car, simply out on track. Chapelletti the same. Daka, though, is on the back as well of Connor's AI car, and he will go through, and he's up into 14th position and trying to chase down Just Asas and all that as well. Montana, 4.5 of a second. He is just sitting, waiting for Alphatrix to maybe make a mistake. Maybe Alphatrix tries to do the dummy back on him from a couple of laps ago and let him through. They do not want to be in the position, I think, where they're going to be fighting. The car in front, essentially, does not want to be the car in front, if you know what I mean by saying this, on the final lap of the race, because you're just going to get hounded from the car behind.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think he is going to be trying to hang back for the next couple of laps and then pounce on the final lap of the Grand Prix. He's not going to be using up too much of that overtake, and I think Alfred will also be feeling the same way. So he's still going to be in a bit of a stalemate up and towards the final lap of the race, where hopefully, I am praying to the F1 gods that we can see a gargantuan battle between the pair of these guys, just to finish off what a season we've seen between the pair of them. Absolute top quality drivers, as there's Toxic getting past Campbell.
Neo as well, right on the back of Verstappen. A little bit of contact, I think, between them both. Neo tried to go down the inside line. Verstappen literally shut the door last minute, and they ran into the back of each other, essentially. And now they've brought M. Short and Doom into play. Doom, of course, on that sort of soft compound of tyres. He is on for points currently, out on track. 6 seconds. He will be out on for points for the first time this season, in the final race this season. I just hope he doesn't bottle it now out on track that I've said that, but he's doing a fantastic job. Alphatrix leading the way, though. Montana in second. And if you are just tuning in, you've tuned in pretty much, I think, at the right time, as Montana just looks like he's being caught a little bit for pace, I think, from Alphatrix. Alphatrix's two-lap younger mediums are now coming into play, and I think Montana, this strategy call for him to go behind Alphatrix is not paying off, because look at the gap, it's nearly 9/10 of a second. Montana, I think, might have just overdone this, maybe. I'm not sure, though.
I think Alphatrix used a bit of his ERS though, just to create some breathing room between Montana. Of course, he's got 2 warnings to use up, unless he's just used one there. Has Alphatrix. Montana has only got 1, so if it does come to that point, Alphatrix does have an advantage in that regard. I think Montana's just turned up the heat a little bit. He's posted the fastest first sector out of anyone, so he is definitely on for a good shout at the moment, as what we've seen there.
Doom right on the back of M. Short. Four-way battle for 6th. The Verstappen train well and truly in effect, running up the hill in toward Ferragura for the 34th time out on track. Doom is trying to desperately get past M. Short, trying to desperately get past Neo, and Neo's trying to desperately get past Verstappen, who is still on the back foot from Larkin in front of him. It could be the scene where we might see Verstappen and these guys in behind fall over each other on the final 2 laps of this race, but I hope not. I hope it's going to be a fantastic race, like it has been all season here in Liga Group Division 1. It's been an absolute thrill to commentate, of course, and now we've only got 2 more laps to decide who is going to grow or who is going to fade here out on track tonight. I like how I've entered that in there. Alphatrix leads the way for Montana in second. 4/5 of a second. Larkin trying to hunt down on Suku. He still can't find a way through on Suku in behind, and Suku maybe under pressure here from Larkin running down the straight, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. M. Short is really close to the back of Neo. Is he going to go on the inside in towards the City de Largo? That made sense to me, not to you guys, I'm sure. But Verstappen in 6th, Neo 7th, and M. Short and Nathan Doom is still on the back for this. So much to watch, I don't know what to watch.
I think we've got to cover the battle for the lead coming up towards the end of this race. Alphatrix has just got 1 more lap to hold out from Montana ahead, but this is going to be where I think they're going to start to drain up those batteries coming through John Sauer. Big correction from Montana. They're probably going to lose him some time on Alphatrix. He just can't get close enough to the Brit ahead of him. I think it might go the way of Alphatrix, but never say never, says Montana. He's pulling back his bow. Is he going to have the shot? He just can't get close enough. He's so right onto the back of him, as got yellow flags. I don't know whether that's for anyone in particular, but I don't think so. Larkin is through.
Suku, Larkin trying to go around the outside. Brilliant stuff. Larkin through up to P4, finally gets the move done on the final lap of the race, but Suku's fighting back. The Ferrari, the Tifosi are going wild to the right-hand side in the scene of Felipe Massa's win in 2008. Suku is through, and he's up into P4. We've also got Neo, M. Short, June still battling out on track. I think that yellow flag maybe was for just Asas, who's now under pressure from Dakar in behind. But with half a lap to go, Alphatrix is hanging on. Montana's opportunity, I think, to win this race is gone. He has just completely shot it by letting him through, and it's as simple as that. Alphatrix, although they might not be in a championship battle, this has been decisive. out on track. This could be the scene we might see next season between these guys. Alphatrix up the hill through the Sabina Dos boxes for the final time. Now through the final corner at 10:15. Alphatrix is going to win the final race of the season. Retribution from last week in Abu Dhabi, and Alphatrix wins by 0.6 of a second for Montana in second. The hero story, though, is Rocco finishing in P3. Great race from him. Suka in P4, Lark in P5, Verstappen in P6, getting close down to the line by Neo. 7th and 8th, them short. Campbell, Toxic jump ahead of Doom, who picks up his first point of the season. Matthias has picked up, I think, his first point as well. With 1 point, he does pick up more, of course. Jets Asas crashes across the line in 13th. Daka 14th, Killer Blue in 15th. Cohen will be across the line in 16th. And Candy Daniel Nick 18th position from Chapelelli's AI. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Can Chapelelli's AI get ahead of Z Daniel? It's going to be a photo finish. And across the line, I think, because of the penalties, D. Daniel finishes in P19. He might get awarded, though, P17 with 2 AI cars ahead of him. That's the end. And Campbell gets awarded Driver of the Day by the in-game fans. But that is the end from us here, of course, in League of Europe Division 1. What a race to end off the season. Alphatrix gets his retribution, gets his revenge, and he wins out on track.
Well, that puts an end to it, doesn't it? What an end to the race and to the season, Alphatrix. He's going to be happy about that one despite losing the championship, but he stands atop the podium, and that is definitely an eye towards the future between these two. I don't think that their rivalry is going to cede anytime soon, because next season these two will be fighting right back at the front in Season 5 of League of Europe. Cannot wait until then.
And let's hope Alphatrix can afford a wheel for Christmas. If his parents are watching, get him a wheel for Christmas so he can be on the same level as Montana, because we want to see this battle rage on, of course, next season in Season 5 of League of Europe next season as we go into the new year. And Alphatrix rounds off 2020 here in League of Europe with a win. The first, I think, in about 5 or 6 races from him, which is absolutely unbelievable. Alphatrix wins out on track. Look at how close the fastest lap times were between them both. 0.02 of a second in favour of Montana. That is how close they are out on track. Rocco finishing in P3 certainly gets my vote for Driver of the Day. Suka in P4, Lark in P5, Verstappen P6, Neo, M. Short, Campbell, Toxic ran off the top 10. Jim and Matthias pick up the points. They ran off the position point. Jose Sass, Daka, Cohen, Killer Blue, Connor, Chapelelli's AI, D. Daniel Bolin, the only DNFer out of this race. Two cars not finishing under human power, which was Connor and Chapelelli. But apart from that, Bolin the only DNF out on track. And that brings to an end this absolute fantastic season in Season 4 of Division 1. I really hope you have enjoyed, wherever you may be in the world, I really hope you've enjoyed watching this for Season 4. And with regards to the future of Season 5, and with regards to the future to my commentary role moving forward, I'll be back next season. I'm very proud to announce that. I'll be back next season for hopefully a 4th season of Division 1 commentary. If not, whatever division I get, I'll be very happy with. It has been an absolute pleasure to take you through 3 seasons worth of Division 1 action. 2 by myself pretty much, and 1 alongside Dan, of course. And it's been an absolute thrill to commentate you through this season of League of Europe. And I feel like I'm becoming part of the furniture now. It's as simple as that.
And personally from me, I hopefully will be alongside you, James, next season, whatever division we get put in. I really do hope that I can spend Saturday nights commentating alongside of you. I'd like to thank all of the admins this season at League of Europe who've worked so hard to organise such a brilliant league, and also giving me the opportunity to come up from Division 4, I believe I was commentating before, and now I'm in Division 1, so yeah, it's been such a brilliant first season for me. I've felt so welcome, and I'd just like to thank all of those guys for giving me this opportunity.
All of the organisers, I think, should be thanked. All of the drivers from all 5 divisions, I think, should be thanked as well. Without your hard work, your determination, and without the organisers' hard work, there simply wouldn't be a League of Europe. And I think we will end it there. I know Division 2 and Division 5 are coming up for you. Daka and Verstappen are having a break now from their driving here in Division 1. They're going to be taking you through Division 2 commentary, and then for Division 5, it is, of course, I've been Mike taking you through the action. Hopefully his internet doesn't die behind him like it has the last few days. And then I think Mark is going to be joining them in the commentary box as well for that. So you can tune in 8 for both races. And of course, it is, regardless of saying that next week we are going to be doing the 24 hours of Formula One. And this is a really good and well put together event by the guys here in League of Europe. So I'm going to promote it out. It is from the 19th to the 20th of December. So I think it starts, if I'm not mistaken, 1 p.m. on the Saturday to 1 p.m. on the Sunday. A partner charity has been announced as well, and I'll just try and find that, but it is a really important charity. It was announced in the Discord, I believe, so I'm just trying to get that through now. Dan, who was your driver of the day while I found this?
My driver of the day, I know that you've given it to him, but I think Rocco has just done so well to pick up the podium today and of course take that pole position in the final race of the season. I wasn't expecting him to do it at all, but yeah, he absolutely pulled it out the bag. He's not been the quickest driver this season, and he's certainly not been in the top 5 every single week, but you know what, that was an absolutely brilliant display from him. So I think that Rocco is deserving of the driver of the day award. Driver of the season, you got to give it. You know what, I'm actually going to go for Connor, because I definitely think he'd be fighting for that championship if he, one, could have good internet, and 2, be here for the entire season, but hopefully he'll be back next season to do it all over again.
Yep, sign-ups, of course, internally have, I think, now closed, so if anybody hasn't got their sign-ups in, get them in late tonight, because I think they'll be releasing the external sign-ups very soon indeed. So if you are not within the league, you will be seeing the sign-ups, I think, posted out on social media at League of Europe on Twitter. And just to come on to the charity for the 24 Hours of F1 event, it is young people's mental health. And we know that, of course, COVID is affecting all of us at this stage, and especially young people in particular. There's a lot of restriction, a lot of lockdown, morale really down, anxiety levels through the roof. And we thought, certainly, from all of the guys here at League of Europe, they thought that this was a fantastic charity to put on. And with just 1 week to go until the event, I could not be prouder to be commentating you through the action. And anybody that has been affected by mental health, please speak out, because you are not alone. Everyone is in this together. We know the lockdown is tough. We know the restrictions are tough. There's a vaccine now being rolled out to our most vulnerable people in society. And without that, I think COVID would be around, and possibly may still be around for the foreseeable future. But with young people's mental health, that is the charity for 24 Hours of F1. And I know we're going to try and break our target that we set last season. If I'm not mistaken, we had a £500 target, and then we raised over £1,000. And that was for the NHS charities, which was absolutely unbelievable.
I know, I wasn't actually a part of it last time, but I remember I was just getting into the league racing scene actually, and I saw the event. I was like, wow, I really wish I was a part of that, and now I'm going to get that chance, so I cannot wait for next week. Tune in. I think we're going to have all the special graphics as well, because Jacob will be streaming our point of view, which I think will be really cool to see.
That'll be really good to see. It'll be like Tom, if anybody tunes into TTML, it'll be like him doing the graphics for us in TTML. With that, it's going to be fantastic to watch. And please get involved. Please donate, of course. Donation link, I'm sure, will go live next week. But until then, League of Europe has ended. Season 5 awaits. Will you grow or will you fade? Will these guys grow or fade out on track? Well, it remains to be seen. There'll probably be a new tagline by the time the new year comes around, now that I've said that. But still, we will end it off here. We know we're waffling on quite a lot. But thank you so much for watching Out on Track. Please stay safe in this crazy world. Look after yourselves. Look after your family as well. For myself and Dan, we bid you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year from all of us here at League of Europe. And we will see you on the other side of the new year for Division 1 commentary, and indeed for the rest of the divisions as well. So for myself and Dan, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, until the new year, goodbye.